Good morning, boys and girls. I hope you guys had a good day off yesterday, that you had a chance to do some fun stuff. Today we're going to dive into lesson 5. So we're going to skip lesson 4 because that was your vacation day, and we're going to go right into lesson 5. So we're on week 3, day 5. It looks like this. The goal for today's lesson is to multiply a fraction by a whole number. So the first thing I'm going to do is go over an example of what it looks like when we multiply a fraction by a whole number. So take a look. Okay, let's say, for example, I have 4 times 2/5. Now, whenever we have a multiplication sentence, we can always rewrite that as repeated addition. So I can write this as 4 groups of 2/5. So that's just writing 2/5 4 times. So 2/5 plus 2/5 plus 2/5 plus 2/5. Now, when we're adding together fractions, we only add the numerator because we're not adding the unit, we're just adding the quantities. So the numerators tell us about the quantities and the denominators tell us about the units. So we're not adding together the units, we're just adding the quantities. So I'm going to add that together really quickly, and I can easily skip count by 2s, or I can do 4 times 2, which is 8. 2, 4, 6, 8. So that's 8/5, and I'm going to write that as a mixed number, which equals 1 whole and 3/5. 1 whole is equal to 5/5, and if I'm trying to get to 8/5, that means there are 3/5 left over. You can also use a tape diagram to model this. So whenever I use a tape diagram to model a multiplication sentence, I take my tape diagram and I divide it up into the number of pieces that I'm multiplying by. So since I'm multiplying by 4, I have 4 pieces in my tape diagram, and I'm going to put 2/5 in each one. 2/5, 2/5, 2/5, 2/5. And all together, that's 8/5, which we know equals 1 and 3/5. So you're going to need this to answer each task, but we're going to do a couple of the tasks together. Okay, the first task says, read each task carefully and follow the directions. Make sure you write an explanation and show your work. So, for task A, for a certain brand of orange soda, each can contains 4/12 cup of sugar. So imagine you have this can of orange soda, and we know that it has 4/12 cup of sugar in just one can. Part A asks, how many cups of sugar are there in 6 cans of this orange soda? Okay, so imagine you have 6 cans of orange soda, and each one has 4/12. So this one has 4/12, 4/12, 4/12, 4/12, 4/12, 4/12. How are you going to figure out how many total cups of sugar that is if each one of these has 4/12? I want you to use what we did in our example to solve this problem. Now, it asks you to draw a picture to represent your answer. Now, you could draw a tape diagram if that makes sense to you, but if there's another kind of drawing that you want to do, you can. Because in part B, it asks you to write a story problem that can be used to find 5 times 4. And then they ask you to draw 2 different diagrams. So that could be a tape diagram and any picture that goes along with your drawing. So you might want to actually draw out each can of soda and label it with 4/12. It's up to you. You get to choose how you represent it. Go ahead and comment on this video with your answer. A bonus question for you guys is, what fraction is equivalent to 4/12 with a denominator that's smaller than 12? So 4/12 has an equivalent fraction. And normally when we find equivalent fractions, we multiply. See if you can use division to find a fraction equivalent to 4/12. Good luck. Comment with your answers.